What's up, boys and girls? It's Colonel Buckwheat with another episode of BattleTactics. Today we're going to take a look at how to tackle Obliteration on Zavod. This is one of my favorite maps to play Obliteration on. The gunfights can be really intense, and it's a surprise because they can be most intense outside the middle area. There's a lack of vehicles in the center of the map, and that just creates a stalemate and nobody can move the bomb one way or the other. It really makes for a hell of a lot of fun. For this round I went with the engineer class. I'm using the SG-553 along with the P226 as my sidearm. I'm also equipped with the RPG as well as some slams to get rid of any pesky vehicles. I'd say you can make a case for using any class while playing Obliteration on Zavod. There's a lot of infantry battles for assault, there's a lot of open space for recons to pick off targets, and people on your team are constantly needing ammo with all these mid to long range engagements. Whenever I play Obliteration, I try not to be the guy that carries the bomb because that guy usually doesn't live for very long. But if it's a case where you've got a little open ground and you don't see any enemies and you don't have any teammates nearby, go ahead and scoop that up. One thing that I noticed when I picked up the bomb is that my squad mate was buzzing overhead in the helicopter. I asked him to pick me up and I made my way over to a little bit of a clearing to give him some room. There's one helicopter on each team in this game and they're the only vehicles in the air. So they've got a big advantage if you can somehow get the bomb and get to one of those. We both agreed that we should go over to Charlie, which is the one furthest away from all the action. Unfortunately, we got hit with a stinger and I decided to bail out because I was right over Alpha. I knew the enemy was going to be in hot pursuit right behind me, so I made my way into this building, decided to blow the wall, and then I had an advantage over the enemy team. I could look down below and see directly at the objective. This is actually the first time I've tried this little trick and it worked out pretty well. This map is pretty rocky and uneven, but there are some defined paths on this map. It's important to throw down mines whenever possible. Try to predict which way the enemy's going and throw down those mines so they can't make a quick getaway. As an engineer, it's my responsibility to take care of any vehicles. That means unless you're actually at an objective, it's more important to blow up the vehicles than it is to kill the bomb carrier. Vehicles make it very difficult for your team to advance the bomb, while at the same time, it makes it a lot easier for the enemy to grab the bomb, hop in the vehicle, and take off without any chance of you catching up. As I stated in my last episode, I like to stay close to the bomb, but I don't like to be the bomb carrier. One thing that you can try to do to be really successful in this game mode is to take alternate routes. Don't always hit the enemy head on. If you're running along with 3 or 4 teammates and they're running into a hot zone, go ahead and just separate yourself from the group and try to move around and flank them. There's a lot of push back and forth while playing Obliteration. Sometimes you might spawn in 3 or 4 times and get killed before you even know what happens. Even though you want to play the objective, sometimes it's smarter to just spawn further back and then come into the action gradually so you know what's going on. I would say the exception to this is if you got a teammate that's getting ready to plant the bomb or has already armed it. You definitely need to be at his side. There's 15 seconds between the time that the bomb is armed and it is destroyed. You know that the enemy is really coming at you during that time, and if you're having to defend the thing by yourself, then it's probably not going to work out for you. Right here you can see the bomb carrier's behind me and he just got killed and dropped the bomb. I'm still going to work my way into this little room, regroup and reload, and then I'll be ready to take these guys on again. I know how easy it is to get caught up in the action, but you're not going to do a lot of good for your team if you get caught trying to reload out in the open, or if you're trying to do too much at once. I'll say that my worst Obliteration games are usually when my teammates don't play the objective. Obviously I'm going to be outnumbered around the bomb whenever that happens, but I feel like I try to do too much at once to try to win the game for my team. And whenever that happens, you're not really helping your team at all. As we make our way up to Bravo with the bomb, we've actually passed the point where they spawn in. So I'm checking my flank to make sure that they don't parachute right in on top of us. Usually when you're playing Obliteration, you can parachute comfortably down to your own Alpha and Bravo. So if you have the bomb and you're on the enemy side of the map, it's really easy for them to parachute in on top of you. The enemy are really ineffective when they're parachuting in, so that gives you a good opportunity to get a few shots in and wound them before they even hit the ground. Since we just blew up the second objective and we're standing so close to the main road that leads out of their spawn, I decided to throw down some mines and wait for some armor to show up. At this point we've got the game well in hand, and the only thing that would really turn that around is them making better use of their vehicles. At this point in the game, we don't have to force anything. We've already armed 2 objectives and they haven't armed a single one of ours yet. That definitely doesn't mean you should go do whatever you want to do for the last 5 minutes of the game though. Keep playing the objective, but use cover and let them come to you, because you know they will. If they drop the bomb in the middle of the map, then just sit there and wait and see who else on the enemy team will come along and try to pick it up. It's a real easy way to rack up some kills. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Battle Tactics. Hopefully you guys picked up a few things along the way. If you do have any more questions about this game mode or anything else, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Check out my previous episode if you haven't done so already. In that episode, I tackle Obliteration on Dawnbreaker. I received a lot of positive feedback in that episode, so I'm going to keep this series going for you guys. Also, feel free to let me know if your style of play closely resembles mine, or if you take a different approach to these maps. As always, I appreciate you watching my video. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you guys next time.